Mexican drug cartels, Muslim terrorists, human trafficking, an assassin, political narrative versus real-life combat situations, helicopters, bullets, and lots of explosions. The world is a dark and gritty place, and the sequel that explores war on a more singularly focused target. So, does Sicario, Day of the Soldado, deliver on the action and intensity from its predecessor, or is this story more of a siesta? Let's talk about it in this review. This story begins by establishing the global connection that terrorist organizations use to smuggle men, women, and children across the United States border. We see that as far away as Africa, work is being conducted to provide safer passage down to Mexico and then up across the border into America. From there, we have a few Muslim terrorists turning themselves into human Roman candles, as they seem to enjoy doing, and the story is up and running. One of the aspects of this film that I really enjoyed was how everything that happens on screen pays off at some point during the movie. It might pay off shortly after it happens, or it may be later in the movie. But what's happening on screen is happening for a reason that we will find out about before the credits roll. For example, the young boy in Texas who is almost run over by Benicio del Toro, Jeffrey Donovan, and Josh Brolin's car pays off towards the end of the second act. But we have to wait from the beginning all the way to the end of the second act to get that payoff. Also, the Muslim terrorists who blow themselves to bits at the beginning, that also pays off towards the end of the second act of the film when their real identities are revealed, thus changing the political narrative, adding a new level of tension to the story. It's just moments like this time and time again throughout the story that I really enjoyed and thought they did a really great job with overall in this picture. The tone felt similar to Sicario, however, it was still slightly different. This film felt more action focused, whereas Sicario felt more drama action. We get a lot more depth with the characters and their motivations in Sicario than we do here in this second installment. So we get enough from the characters, but we don't get so much that all of their stories and all of their motivations are as pronounced in this film. Coming from the first film, Sicario, now to Sicario, Day of the Soldado, I understood Benicio del Toro's character motivation as it shifts late in the second act as he is protecting this young lady. It goes from just straight transport to actual protection. And because we know that his character had a daughter and she was killed, I understood his motivation for that dynamic shift of just trying to transport her and get the job done to now actually I have to protect this young lady and deliver her safely. That whole transition made sense to me because we know that he's a father. His fatherly instincts kicked in. I get it. Josh Brolin's character, however, felt forced and awkward as we see his dynamic shift and motivation late in the second act going into the third act. Having worked in corporate America for many years, I understand when the system just dumps on you and you're fed up and you've had enough. However, that really wasn't enough to sell me on his change from being a soldier, a career soldier and strategist, to having this kind of laissez-faire attitude of, well, whatever, I'll just do what I want. And this aspect really didn't work for me because I couldn't believe, again, a career soldier and strategist would just all of a sudden, who's been following the rules all the time, all of a sudden just be like, whatever, I'll do what I want. It just didn't make sense. I was like, does he need a nap? Do you need some water? What do you need? Help me, help you. Okay, but let's get back to the story. So the pacing of this film was actually pretty consistent with a few exceptions. For the most part, it's moving at a pretty rapid pace from beginning to end. However, there are a few moments peppered throughout the story that kind of slow or drag the pacing and the tempo of the film down before allowing it to kind of pick back up and rocket forward again. Most of these scenes are going to be like transport scenes where we see cars driving or helicopters flying. In all, though, the pacing was pretty consistent, which really helped to keep the tension at heightened levels from beginning to end. Sicario, Day of the Soldado is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am recommending a big screen viewing of this film. All of the actors in this film, including Isabel Moner, really did a great job delivering the emotions and the believability in this world and really helped flesh out and develop this world with their performances that was just wrought with danger and suffering. If you're a fan of action movies, there is plenty of action in this film, and it even concludes by setting up a possible third film or a spin-off film for the assassins. And because of these reasons, Sicario, Day of the Soldado is getting at least one high five from this guy. Sicario, Day of the Soldado is playing at your local movie theater right now. Check it out.